Good afternoon, my people. Good afternoon. I hope you're well. It's Thursday. It's 1:35. We're getting ready for the daily transfer show. Yes, yes, yes. We're back. It's the Armoury TV. It's the transfer show. We have star-studded guest, man like James Ramsdale. How you keeping?
It's good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You ready for tonight?
Yeah, man. I'm confident. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good, good, good. These are the days, isn't it? This like brings us back to yesteryear where you're going into these games with a bit of optimism and you'll be involved in big games. As much as
Mm.
say it's only the Carabao Cup, it's still a big game, and you can see by the quarter-finalists. I mean, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's four of the top six. So
Mm.
um, it shows. I mean, everyone's fighting for these trophies now. Gone are the days of people just dismissing that trophy and focus on the FA Cup. Like it's not easy to win a trophy nowadays, is it? So
Mm.
got a little bit of prestige to it. Gunner King is with us, but disappeared for a hot second. So
I'm
he's
here.
back. Yes, Gunner, how you keeping?
Yeah, man, all good, all good.
Yeah,
Just getting ready to watch the AFCON. To be honest,
yeah. What's the games on today?
Sierra Leone,
Oh, your boys.
a draw or a win, and we're going to the last 16, brother. Jeez. Ooh.
You confident?
Equatorial Guinea, man. I mean, they beat Ghana.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
Ghana? Was it? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, it
Oh, I haven't.
was. No,
Okay.
yeah, it was. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
It's all good.
So
It's all good.
yeah, they just they got to be respected. But yeah, I think we can beat them.
Yeah, there's been some shock results in that Cup of Nations, actually, hasn't there? So, um,
Yeah, man.
yeah, just got to just take every game as it comes, as Nigerian Englishman always tells us. Just each game at a time is what you can do. So, yeah, we're here for the transfers. It's starting to not quicken up, but seems like there's a bit of movement going on. So, we're going to start in midfield. Arthur Melo is definitely the main target. Reports last night is Arsenal were looking for a 6-month loan. Juventus wanted a 6-month obligation to buy to begin with. I think Arsenal have obviously tightened that down and said no, just a loan. Then the reports says Juve has said they don't want to be left with too many players next season. So for them, ideally, they want Arthur Melo out for 18 months. So they want us to extend the loan to a year and a half, which Arsenal have gone back and said we want to do half a year, then review it. If he does well, then we're taking him back. But if he doesn't, then we're sending him back. So I think that's kind of where the sticking point is at the moment. Um, it seems like lessons learned from previous years. Again, I think very similar to the Odegaard, where you take him for 6 months. If he does well and acclimatizes, then you go back for him. You either loan him or buy him. If he struggles, then you send him back, and he's Juventus's problem. And obviously, Juventus want to kind of avoid that situation. Um, However, Arsenal seems like we're playing hardball. I think it helps that the player is desperate to come to Arsenal. So it kind of we can draw a hard line because we see he wants to come, and Juve will probably have to give in to a certain degree. So, Gunnar King, what's your thoughts on that situation? Would you take him on an 18-month loan, or would you prefer to kind of go with what Arsenal are trying to say is give us 6 months and then we're reassessing the summer?
No, I prefer the Arsenal way for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm a firm believer in like transfer behavior,
Mm,
and what the outcomes are, and how you're perceived, and how that strengthens your ability to negotiate your next deal.
mm,
I feel if we allow Juventus to set the terms in the way that they're trying to and dictate the precedents under which we take this player, then other teams think they can do the same. And
yeah.
I said that about Xhaka. That's why I'm one of the few people that agreed in the rationale behind extending Xhaka's contract.
Mm,
You sell him for peanuts. Everyone comes with peanuts and nothing more to come and buy your players. So from
mm,
that perspective, I'm happy with what Arsenal are doing. They're going in with a very clear vision for what they want.
mm,
We want to review and assess this player for the next 6 months. based on Danny Ceballos when he came. Yes, he went on loan and we loaned him back. Didn't have much of an impact. But imagine we had taken Danny Ceballos under the same terms, like, we wouldn't have had a choice in the matter in the second option. So I think it's very difficult for a player to come in and without any pre-season in the middle of January at such a mission critical juncture of a massive club like Arsenal and just settle. So I think the 6 months is the right period of time, really, until the end of the season. Look, you're doing yourself a service. You're putting yourself in the shop window and hopefully doing your parent club a service of making yourself a viable transfer option. 6 months. It shouldn't take 6 months, to work out whether or not he's the right fit for Arsenal. But I think over the years we've bloated our squad without sort of much thought for how that affects us in our next transfer again. Like if you're trying to bring in a player on a big wage or, that's got quality, it's going to be difficult if you've got players lingering around on your books. And we've done so well in the last year to 18 months to trim the squad. I think moving forward now, this is the sort of prudence that we need to be showing to avoid ever being in that situation again.
Definitely. I totally agree with everything you said there. James, what's your thoughts on the the situation at hand? So 6 months and if you review it in the summer, a bit like Odegaard. If he does really well, we then go over transfer bid. If he's okay, maybe we go back for a loan like we did with Ceballos and then 2 loan deals. Or would you rather just tie it up for 18 months? Again, there's no transfer fee really involved. It's just obviously doing his wages for 18 months, but you then have the player for 18 months. What would you rather, President?
I'd rather 6 months, but I'm not against the 18 months just because of how uncertain our midfield options are. Like we have Elneny going, we have Granit Xhaka that looks like he's going, we have Ainsley Maitland-Niles who will be gone in the summer. So I think having a player for it may be longer term, but it's 18 months. So in retrospect to the squad, it's shorter term. Plus, if we can pre-agree a deal, was in the sense of where Juventus wants a loan for 18 months plus then a buy option. It's two sides of a coin. If he smashes it, and we have such a low buy option, then everyone's going to be like, "Wow, this is a fantastic piece of business." Yeah. But then again, as King says, if he flops, then we've now got him for a year and a half. So it swings and roundabouts. For me, I want the 6 months. I prefer the 6 months because then it will allow us to go get more like our main targets, like Bruno Guimaraes or whoever else we want to get. But I'm not opposed to the 18 months. It just comes with a bit of more risk attached.
Yeah, definitely. And I can understand Juventus's point of view, because again, as much as his wages will be covered by Arsenal, I presume, we are not a team where we can't afford to pay wages. But for them, they're going to be looking to plan as well. So, okay, we know we've got him out the door for 18 months. We can now bring in a centre midfielder and not have to worry about the long-term effects of the squad being oversized or, do you know what I mean, now paying excess wages. So for them, it's they're probably just trying to protect themselves at the same time.
So stacked in this area though, in centre midfield, Juventus. I swear for the last 3-4 years, every summer they've brought in a new midfielder.
Yeah, they can't seem to get the balance.
What are you doing?
And it's even again with the things like not being able to clear Ramsey out. Obviously, that plays a massive part in them as well. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got him sitting on 400,000 a week, so no one's going to take him in the right mind. So. Yeah, they've got themselves in a situation, but I think at the moment you're playing with the wrong Arsenal. We're not, as much as we all can see we need players, we're not acting desperate. Which is
the thing is, we're not acting desperate because we don't want to end up in the situation they're in now. Where we got players on a high wage, on our bill that we can't get rid of. So I was doing a TikTok live earlier. Someone was talking about the Aubameyang bid. I don't know if we're going to talk about that later. 7 million, right?
Yeah.
He was like, relative to what Aubameyang's achieved, that's nothing. That's a terrible bid. And it's like, well, if you consider he's on a 350 grand a week, he's not playing. His disciplinary record has been poor. Therefore, he's tarnished his professional standing in the game. Like, we're lowering the transfer fee in lieu of just being like, we are taking some of the risk away by reducing the fee. Do you see what I mean?
And again, with the ABBA thing, again, I know you probably saw the message I put in the group yesterday. It's bigger than just 7 mil. If they take on his wages, which is in ballpark of 350 a week, that's over a month. That's 1.4 mil. So if we keep ABBA and he's not really performing for another year, 1.4 mil over 12 months is about 15 mil. So you've actually then made a saving of 15 mil on ABBA. So on top of the 7 mil you're going to get transfer fee, you also then get another 15 in his wages you saved. So I agree. Yes, on paper, 7 mil for ABBA looks very cheap, but in Arsenal's position now, where we're actively trying to get rid of him, it's different. If this was 2 years ago when he was firing, you're paying upwards of 40 mil for Aubameyang. Do you know what I mean? But the market where he's in, his value's gone right down. People could see his wages are astronomical. So again, you have to almost lose money on the transfer in order for a team to be able to afford his wages. And we saw this with Ozil and things like that a lot, where Arsenal actively had to drop the transfer price down in order for teams to say, well, actually, we can't. Don't say. I think it was Fenerbahce said we can't pay a transfer fee and pay these wages. So either you take the hit with the transfer fee, and we can give Ozil what he wants, or Ozil take a hit with the wages, and we pay Arsenal, and Ozil's got to turn around and say, I'm not taking a price cut on my wages. So you got to talk to Arsenal, or I just sit on the bench and ride it out. So yeah, we have to think more business minded, isn't it? It's very much, yes, we're losing a good player, but he's not playing. So actually, you're not losing anything on the pitch, and actually, contract wise, you're making a big saving, and that money then goes towards Vlahovic, who then potentially can produce. It's, to me, every little helps at this moment in time. So I'm with it. So we might as well carry on with the Aubameyang situation. Obviously, if people haven't heard, Al Nassr have put in a loan to the end of the season with a mandatory buy. So it will be 7 mil at the end of the season. Plus, they said they'll take on his wages from now to the end of the season. James, what's your thoughts on Abba?
It all comes down to one piece of business. Oh, King's gone. It all comes down to one piece of business we do this January, and that's if we get Vlahovic. If we don't get Vlahovic, we don't sell Alba. That's my stance. We can't afford to, even though he's not playing right now, he's not in the squad. If Lacazette gets injured, we have Eddie Nketiah to lead the line. And as much as I rate Eddie in terms of his improvement, I still don't think he's not the quality striker we need to lead the line. And if Lacazette gets injured, we're then, who do we put up front? Martinelli, maybe, but then that detracts from his impact on the left. And for me, he's better on the left than he is centrally. So if we had the player in currently, I'd be biting your hand off saying we need to get rid of him. But we don't have that other body in up front yet. We may be coming back to this and be like, oh, okay, we've signed Vlahovic. It's a big if, but if we have, then it's a no-brainer. Aubameyang leaves, but it's like the midfield is a bit complicated at the moment. So I don't know. I'm not too sure. I would take it, but
I understand. You don't want to leave yourself too short. I fully understand that. However, even if Vlahovic doesn't come, I do think we're actively going to go and get someone different. I don't think we leave this window without signing a striker unless we do integrate Abba back in to the end of the season. But however, it's obvious we need that striker long term because, again, Lacazette's no kind of whispers coming out of him looking to extend his stay. So he'll be gone in the summer. Nketiah will be gone in the summer. And again, even with Nketiah, he is a squad player. He's never going to be one who none of us expect to lead the line long term for Arsenal at the moment. And obviously Abba, we don't know what's happening. Arteta's again very quiet on whether he'll play for Arsenal again. He kind of just said we're just worried about his heart murmur, and that's the most important. So who knows with that? So we've got a couple of comments. Diablo Davis, yes. Our guy from Reading, ex-Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'll put it in there on live TV. He's a United fan now. But he's saying he rates what Arsenal are doing at the moment by getting so.
Wait. Sorry. Wait. In the quiet words of a Virgin Mary, come again. Did you say ex-Arsenal fan, now a Man United fan?
Yeah, I'll let him clear it up in the comments a bit later. You know who it is as well. I'll tell you off mic.
Who?
But
who is this?
Do you remember Lawrence? So yeah, James, this covers you'll be new to. There's a guy called Lawrence who's from RG area. Used to go by the name of Redman. He used to be Gilberto Silva's. He used to be his idol. He had the hook like him. Yeah, central midfielder, good little player he was, to be fair. But yeah, he fell out. I get it. He very grew disillusioned with Arsenal. But I think a lot of his background and family were Man United fans, so he then made the switch. But yeah, for a few years he had a good time, but at the moment it seems like he might have made the wrong decision. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm sure
Yeah,
he's
you
going to be in the
reap what you
comments today.
sow, pal.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah, that's what
I've,
you get. Yeah, yeah.
I've got a shirt here for you,
Hold
Lawrence, when
that.
you're ready. Yeah, I've got a shirt for you when you're ready. You can come back when you're ready. We won't hold it against you. But he's saying he likes Arsenal's, and again, this is where, as much as he has his team, again, he's a fan of football, and he can potentially see the good that Arsenal are doing at the moment. So he's saying we seems to have the balls to sell big players and play the kids and mold everyone into the way Arteta wants to play, and he wishes United would do that. Which again, a lot of Arsenal fans have been saying that this year. I know King, you've been saying it for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's a process, but we have to get behind it. It's showing signs at a certain stage of working. So it's just, even if we have a bad
And
result, we're
listen,
gonna have bad
as,
results. Like,
as an aside, right, United have got some decent youngsters coming through, man.
Seems
That
ridiculous.
Ghana guy, that Elanga guy, that Mengi guy.
Midgebury, whatever is however you pronounce it, the centre midfielder, Hannibal. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they got some players. They got some players. So yeah, I think United are at that stage where we were a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? You've had some of these players a long time and they haven't produced. It's time to start just being a bit more ruthless. Do you know what I mean? And just cutting some of them and starting again. But let's hope they don't do it too soon. Let's hope they have a couple more years of madness. I was watching Ronaldo yesterday walking off, and Greenwood's face looking at him was just like, "Are you for real? You're actually moaning?" Like, if I'll show you the picture, Greenwood's face was brilliant. He's looking at Ronaldo like, "You big baby, like shut up." So yeah, there's definitely discontent in that dressing room, isn't there? And I'm enjoying watching
all
it.
over
I'll
the
be
shop.
honest. I'm enjoying watching it. Right, so we move on. ABBA, we'll see what happens with that one. This one, we haven't been linked with him, but I thought it'd just be interesting to talk about. I'm not sure if you lot have seen the news with Dembele. Obviously, we've been linked with Dembele in previous years. It seems like Xavi's had said he's not signing. He's surplus the requirements here. Talk is they'll be happy to accept 20 million for him. What I like is we haven't turned our attention. We haven't said, "Oh, we're not getting Vlahovic now. We're going to get Dembele. He's a cheaper option," like we've done in the past, where we've just taken a mad player. But just say we was to get Vlahovic, we was to get Arthur Melo. Would you go for a little loan deal for Dembele, just as a bit of backup to your Martinellis and Saka to the end of the season?
I don't think they'd accept the loan. He only has 6 months left. He's a free
Yeah,
agent, essentially.
no,
If
Yeah.
we wanted to sign him, we could sign him as a free agent because he's older
yeah,
than
Not
23.
only that as well. I don't think he's coming as backup.
yeah. He doesn't need to know
Yeah.
that. He doesn't need to know that. But if you're signing a player like him, if he's performing, he starts. If he's not performing, then he rides. Do you know what I mean? The bench it's part and parcel. It's like Pepe didn't come as backup, but he's now found himself as backup. So, but I mean, in general, would that be a player who would interest you for the right price? James, would that be a player of interest for you if we got Vlahovic? And I'm not saying either or. I'm saying
Yeah,
we're getting our two main targets, and he's a bonus.
Regardless of not getting Vlahovic, I'm changing my mind in terms of Ousmane Dembele because all I can see is it's bad because his Barcelona career has just been shite, but his Dortmund career and before that when he played in Ligue 1, he was a wonderful player, absolutely wonderful player.
Yeah.
I think he'd be electric, but the only thing that concerns me is his wage that he wants. This is why Barcelona, they can't afford to sign him because he says he wants like 300, 250, 300, that bracket. For trust, he wants Champions League wage, and he doesn't justify that based on the amount of games he's played. His potential quality, 100%, give him that. But realistically, from what he's done for the past 2-3 seasons, he has barely been on the pitch.
Yeah.
So I think it's a risk you have to be willing to take within, can we manage his injuries and his workload? What does he want as a wage and what did Barcelona want? But I'd definitely be having a word with Xavi or Laporta, the director of football over there and just been like, yeah, how much do you want for this guy and how much do you want? But he's someone I take because he can play either wing as well. He give us good cover.
Definitely. King, what's your thoughts on Dembele? Would you be dead against it? Again, it goes against what we've been doing of late of under 23 players. His injury record isn't great. However, as James has said, there is a player in there. You see it in sparks. Yes, his Barcelona form hasn't been great, but even for France, he then looks like he's kind of back to his best when he's played at tournaments. So do you just feel it might have been Barcelona's just the wrong place for him? And would that be something you would be looking to entertain if it became available?
I definitely feel we do need, like, for the right hand side, because he's left footed as well. Cuts inside, either inverts as a winger or as a forward, trying to create chances or score. I've said we need cover there because Saka's going to get burnt out. I'm telling you, like, the rate at which Saka is playing, this guy, come February, March time, he's going to be done out here. Like, he's playing every game. Like, he's only getting subbed off if he gets kicked too much. And the fact in itself that he's so unplayable, he's getting kicked consistently throughout games. We are in dire need of cover there. And obviously this whole, I ideally would have wanted us to have wrapped up the striker and the midfielder so we could look at this area, because I've got more of a feeling that we're going to leave this until the summer. But mark my words, this could unstick us this season. So
we have got Pepe
when I take that
come back from AFCON, which obviously he is natural cover for Saka on that side.
But he's not good enough. He hasn't been good enough for a while, So we need to shake something up there. My biggest concern, as you said, with Dembele is the injury record. It's for the last, if it had been like the last 6 months where there was a bit of a bad injury and you could see maybe the team rushed him back because they had to, and maybe he's broken down from recovery, then fair enough. But it's nearly 2-3 years that his record has been off, and that shows to me that a lot of the injury problems that he's having are in the similar areas, that they're chronic, that they're gonna throughout the rest of his career now, they're going to affect him. And look, man, I've seen too much of this in my life, man. I've suffered in this area, man. Diaby being the main example, like
him in Wiltshire,
watching him pocket a prime Yaya Toure, in Yaya Toure's best individual season, but then a week later just getting injured by just looking at his knee or something, like, I can't deal with it no more, man. Especially as James said, when it's players on these big wages. Because then what happens is you can't offload that player. Because then when other teams are assessing the risk of that player, as they are now, everyone knows Dembele's talent. I've heard that he's been linked to Chelsea because Tuchel got the best out of him.
Yeah, there we go.
Tuchel Dembele was his prime Dembele. No, we've never seen a better Dembele. Yeah, that guy had him firing on all cylinders. However, as I said, like the fact that it's been that long since he's shown his best form, the fact that when he has shown close to getting back to that best form, it's been in dribs and drabs. And the fact that the injury record is too much risk. When you throw all of that in with the injuries, it's way too much risk. At the moment, we don't need to take that level of risk on, in my opinion.
No, I totally understand that. And again, what you're saying is correct. It is a high risk. And for me, the only way I would look at this or entertain it is if, just say there's no suitors for him. You go to deadline day and you say, look, you're not playing him. He's going to ride it out, his money for the rest of the season. Yes, he goes on a Bosman at the end, but let me take him on loan for 6 months. We'll cover the wages and maybe even give Barca a little sweetener of 5 to 10 mil. And then that gives you 6 months to see again what he can produce. And then if it works out for him, and again he's available on the free transfer, you can then offer him a contract. If it doesn't, you've literally put him in for 6 months as, do you know what I mean, an extra pair of hands. Again, that just say you get 7 good games out of him from now to the end of the year, that could be enough to fire us to top 4. And then you reevaluate in the summer. You can say, he's long term, a bit like we're doing with Arthur. The reason why we probably aren't offering Arthur 18 months is because we know long term we want a Ramirez as our number 1 target or Tillemans. So we just need a little bit of support to get us through this period. and then in the summer we go and get the targets we really want. So that would be the only way I'd want Dembele if it was a real short-term deal, just to get us through from now to the end of the season. But yeah, I wouldn't want to commit to 2.5, 3 years of Dembele, like with the injury record. As much as, yes, he is a great player, but yeah, long-term, not for me. But if we could sneak a little loan for 6 months, because again, if Barcelona don't want the player to play now because he's turned down the contract, they obviously would want that wages off their books because they struggle as it is. Again, swap deal for 6 months for Aubameyang, probably wouldn't turn my nose up at that if I'm honest. But time will tell. I thought it'd just be an interesting topic point. So we haven't been linked with him, but again, it's something just to talk about. Diablo Davis is still here. He's saying they've got too many so-called play stars on high wages. Can't shift them due to wages and contract length. We need to complete reset. And we've just gone through that. If you see again, Kolasinac just left yesterday, mutual termination. Like we could have tried to hold out for a mil, but it was just like, you know what, just get him off the books. 100,000 a week, just get him gone. So he's another one with Socrates, with Mustafi, with Ozil, who we've just let them cancel their contract early and move on. And yeah, I think United, looking at the wages you lot pay, yeah, I don't know where you go from that. And the worst thing is someone like Bruno Fernandes, he's next to negotiate. And if he's seeing Sancho's on 300,000, Rashford's on 250, like talks of offering Pogba 500,000, and he's carried you lot for a few years. He's coming in with big demands, like big demands. So yeah, you lot have put yourself in a bad situation.
Bruno's stopped negotiations as well. He's got 3 years on his contract, but they started him now.
Yeah,
and he's just like,
yeah.
I'm not even interested. Like not
United,
right now. Like.
Yeah, for United board is saying they feel confident they'll be able to tie him down, but he's coming with big demands. He's coming with massive demands. Like you think for the 18 months he's been here, 2 years he's been here now, hasn't he? Signed January 2 years ago. He's been their main player, their superstar, their go-to. So if you're paying Sancho 300,000 a week and Rashford 225, I want minimum 350 for. Do you know he's coming with big demands? So yeah, good luck to you lot.
And that's another reason with Dembele why I'm not interested, because then it sets that dangerous precedent again, you know, with these young players coming into their prime being like, well, hang about, he just turned up on the door. He rocked up and he got 300k a week. I've been here 2 years dragging you through the mud. Yeah. And you've only offered me 150. Yeah, because you're in your 20s still. Well, not
like that. You rely on me more than you do Dembele. Same as Bruno. They rely on Bruno more than they do what's his name, Sancho. So why am I getting paid less than Sancho? Like, nah, mate, I want 100k on top of what he gets. So yeah, good luck to them. Just a good comment here. So again, lots of rumours about Vlahovic at the moment. Good afternoon, morning, fellas. Rumour is Dusan's medical is at Arsenal today. Can you advise? I don't think this isn't anything like.
No.
It's just like it's in the know accounts, apparently in the know. They're like, he's having his medical, and it's like, no, literally no reliable sources reporting we've even had a bit.
I don't even waste my time with ITKs, bro.
Yeah. So I wouldn't read too much into that. The latest we've kind of heard is Arsenal have kind of put this bid in now, like officially, but and even that hasn't been reported to the major hitters. So your Sky Sports, you haven't heard it from Fabrizio Romano, no one like that. So yeah, it sounds like we're putting something together, but nothing as yet. So I wouldn't read too much into that. Just another quick outgoing. Kyle Hine, the keeper, I think he's fourth choice at the moment behind Leno Akwankwo, I believe you pronounce it, and obviously Ramsdale. There's talk of Reading are going to look for a loan deal for him. So they mutually terminated Cabral's contract. He's gone back to Brazil. So they're only left with their first team keeper. They have no backup. So they're rumoured to be wanting Kyle Hine on loan. And hopefully he could do what Emi Martinez done when he was out at Reading. And also Pablo Murray's officially left. It hasn't been reported on Arsenal's website yet, but Udinese have put a picture up of him holding the kit with either chairman or manager, whoever it is. So it looks like Pablo Mari has officially left Arsenal on loan. Thoughts on Mari's time with Arsenal, James?
Yeah, mediocre. I thought for £3 million or whatever we bought him for, he gave me what I expected. So no complaints, but it'd be nice to remove another non-homegrown spot from the squad. Just opens up more players we can bring in.
Yeah, definitely. New gunner. Thoughts on Armoury? Surprised we loaned him out this window?
No, no, not at all. I mean, when you look at Holding, I'd even rather play Chambers as a centre back than play Mari.
Wow.
In my opinion, yeah, as backup, yeah. But obviously, you got Holding there, you've got Chambers there, Ben White. You know, you got Gabriel. He's not dislodging those. People forget Tomiyasu can play as a centre back as well. In fact, Tomiyasu's career began as a centre back. It was only in his last 17, 18 games at Bologna where they stumbled upon him being good as a fullback in the right-hand channel that they committed to him playing their longer term. So, look, this whole squad has need ripping up and repairing, and this is a big part of it. You know, not just, I mean, the wages that he was on as well. You know, not a small amount for someone who's sitting on the bench. So, yeah, I would look. It seems like we are getting rid of Deadwood to do something massive at the end of next week.
Yeah, and again,
I
with
mean
him,
massive.
Yeah, it's a lot of wages we freed up. Like you're talking between him and Kolasinac, that's easily say 180. I reckon we've freed up almost 200,000 a week.
Ainsley made the miles. What was he on?
Yeah, he would have been on about 50. So yeah, again, it's just that ruthlessness of they're not playing. Again, yes, we're not in Europe, so we've only got one game a week. So there's players who aren't seeing the pitch. Like Chambers, I think we've seen once this season. Cedric maybe 2 games. Mari a couple of games. So again, it's like, why are we waiting for? If someone's going to take them now, take them. Because even long term, that saving over half a season is, do you know what I mean, that could end up going towards transfers in the summer. So it makes sense to me. Obviously, we've got Saliba to come back in the summer. So he would naturally go into potentially third choice centre back. So yes, he's not left footed, but we've seen Holdings played that he's done all right at times. So yeah, I don't think there's any issues. And again, we might not even need to then go and spend in that area next year because Gabriel, White, Holding, Saliba is probably your 4 you want to go in with next season. So yeah, that area we seem pretty covered. But again, what they're doing is clearing out a lot of the deadwood, and I like the ruthlessness. Mari is an Arteta and Edu purchase, and for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to nail down a position, and we haven't sat there and think, oh, hold on to him because we brought him in, we want it to work. It's not working. Yeah, he hasn't done badly for us, but it's time to move on from you. So just that ruthlessness we're starting to show, which we hadn't shown in a long time. It's refreshing for me. Definitely refreshing. So anyone got any other topics of conversation? Actually, before we go, let's get your predictions for tonight. James, what are you saying for Arsenal Liverpool tonight?
2-0. 2-0 Arsenal. Ooh. Yeah, man, we barely concede at home. Like, obviously, yeah, I'm confident. I shouldn't be, but at the Emirates, we're a different beast. We have been this season, so I don't think my confidence is misplaced.
Nice, I like it, Mr. Gunner King. Today, what are you going for?
I prefer not to speak. Listen, bro, like Liverpool are a problem. They're a serious problem. Even like I know they got no Mane and they got no Salah and they got no Keita, right? But I think their midfield now. I think Fabinho might be back if Thiago's back.
Thiago's not back. Thiago's not back.
Woo! I think there is room for change there. Not a great deal. I genuinely think this might go penalties.
What's the rules today? Is it away goals count or just extra
time
away
goals? Extra time pens, yeah.
Okay. So do you think we're going through, but just don't know how?
I'm not even sure we'll go through. I'll be honest. If I'm being honest, I think, I think we're going to struggle, man.
So what's your score prediction? Come on, give me something tangible. Nothing fluffy.
2-1.
Liverpool.
You want back the boys.
Why is he frozen?
No, you want to.
I can see your eyes blinking.
2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. There we go. There was one more subject quickly though, because I'm watching like the highlights of Chelsea and Brighton. And I think another area, right back cover. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah,
I wouldn't bother with that now. Yeah, Summer, that would be me.
This Lamptey guy, look, he was ripping up trees, man.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the full game.
He's ex Chelsea academy as well. I'm pretty sure.
Chelsea, they
sold him for $3 million.
Right back.
Yeah, they got rid of Livramento as well to Southampton on a free. Bro, they had.
And now they need them both.
Yeah.
Now they need them both. Both their fullbacks got injured.
I think the problem with Lamptey with Chelsea was they never wanted to sell him, and it's the same thing with Sancho at Man City. Didn't want to sell him, but they just couldn't give him the pathway. So the ball was in his court, and he said, "I want out." Like they got they had right back. You'll see you had Reece James, Tariq Lamptey. There's a boy called Dujon. I can't remember his surname. They've
got Aspilicueta as well.
Yeah, I'm just talking just the youngsters. Right, and Livramento. So they had 4 quality right backs. And Trevor Chalobah can play out there. So but mainstream 4 quality right backs. So yeah, they was never going to hold on to all of them, but yeah, they definitely could do with him now. But yeah, that's one position I think him or Max Aarons. That would be what I'll be looking for in the summer.
I like Max Aarons a lot.
Yeah, so you're almost hoping Norwich get relegated and you can grab him or Tariq Lamptey. And again, I think they're a different profile to right back, which is quite good because they're more attacking.
So they offer you more going forward. Yeah, and I feel we need the balance of that, like the alpha omega kind of relationship of what game are we going in, who are we coming up against, what sort of opportunities are we going to have to exploit the wide areas, and is that going to come at the detriment of our defence? If the answer is no, give a Tariq Lamptey or a Aarons a run out. I think that's important.
It would be like the whole dynamic with City as well, how they have Walker, who is a solid fullback, but he's more of an inverted than he is attacking wide back. But then they also have João Cancelo that they're playing as a left back at the moment, but they have the options of Walker, Cancelo on the right. So if we had Tomiyasu being Walker and whoever else being the equivalent of the João Cancelo, it'd be really good options to have.
Yeah. And just before we go over to talk about right backs, there's a youngster who's meant to be pulling up trees, and Arteta's called him up to train with the first team of late. He plays right back. Cannot remember his name. Let me think of it. I cannot think of his name.
We just brought a new one as well from. Was it from West Brom as well?
Yeah,
West Brom. Yeah. But yeah, this side that's it. I've got
Luiso.
Aliabosu or something.
Yeah, it's Luiso, isn't
Ryan Aliabosu.
Yeah.
Academy, but he's meant to have kicked on massively in the 23s, and he wasn't in the 23s team yesterday. So you never know how true it is, but there's rumours he might be on the bench today. And Arteta's meant to be really impressed with him in training of late. So you never know. I think he's more of a right back who can play right wing, or a former right winger who's now playing right back. So again, he offers a bit more attacking wise. And then gives an option as well if you ever need to go into a 5. Someone like a Max Aarons or a Lamptey or this guy would be more comfortable at wing back than Tomiyasu can be the 3rd centre back. So yeah, it's the squad. I'm liking the look of our squad, man. I really am. So, but guys, we're gonna wrap that up. This is probably our longest ever transfer daily, and there wasn't actually much to talk about. No, it's all good. It's been brilliant content. Like we've had a couple of short ones which lasted 3 minutes, so it's balanced out nicely. But yeah, tonight, obviously Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates, League Cup semi-final. I think there will be a vlog which Canners might be doing. I might feature because I'll probably see him up there. Gunner King, you're watching live, I believe. Is that correct? Or you're hoping to be a part of a live?
Oh no, I just spoke to them. They're not doing AFTV aren't doing a watch along for this Sierra Leone game apparently. So I'm gonna watch that here, and then I'll be doing a watch along.
Brilliant.
One of you guys should jump on that, man.
I would if I'm not in the stadium, but I'm in the stadium, mate. So.
Oh right, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah, and then you could obviously we'll let you know about the reaction. Hopefully it'll be tonight. I think Nigerian Englishman with G Talks is doing the reaction. So if anyone else is available on that, jump on it. And then tomorrow, preview, transfer show, and then Burnley on Sunday. It's thick and fast. It's just non-stop at the moment. We're loving life. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My boys, love as always. And Arsenal, please, 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 please beat them Scousers. Please beat them Scousers.